Hello dear students. Today in Vidya Sankul we are going to start our next e-learning class in the chapter 8 motion in standard 9. Okay, we are going to start our next topic in the science portion but in this chapter, but before we going to start the next topic, let us take a brief preview on what we have studied earlier in this chapter. So first we have started from the motion, that what is the basic definition of motion, that can we say about the what can we say about the motion. In this whole universe, all of the substance or all of the objects are continuously moving from one place to another place. That can be said that it is in a motion state. So now, did you think about that some of the objects or some of the substance will not moving at all? What can we say about them? So we can say that if an object is not moving at all, it is if it doesn't change the position from point 1 to point B, then we can say that it is in a rest position. But for the rest position, we have to give them a reference point regarding that. See, if I don't give you the reference point, you cannot understand or you cannot judge whether the object is moving or isn't moving at all. Okay, if I don't give you the reference point, then you cannot understand that the object is moving or object is not moving at all. See, if we are talking about me and I am talking about if you are seeing the mobile on your hand, so at this moment the mobile is not moving at all. So for your perspective, the mobile is in a rest position. But while I change the reference point, if I suppose I say you that what about the in reference with the sun? So in reference point of the sun, our whole earth is continuously moving. So in whole earth is moving, so your mobile will be also moving at all. Okay, so we can say that whenever the perspective will be changed, then we can say that it changes the object's state. Okay, see, if we can say that it is in a motion state, or if we can say that it is in a rest state. Okay, going to the next topic, we have discussed that types of motion. So we have seen that there is basically a 3 types of motion. Okay, but it will most probably divided into subcategorized into the 2 types of motion. And the 3 types of motions are: first motion will be called as the translatory motion. This will be the motion will take a path as a straight line. Whenever the object or the body are moving in a one point to another point in a straight or the linear path, then it can be said that it is doing the translatory motion. Another motion will be called as the circulatory motion. So now what is the circulatory motion? If an body or object travels in a circle path and then came back to its original position, then can we say about that it is doing an circulatory motion. And another motion will be known as the periodic motion. So if an object or body continuously traveling on the same path on the repeating times, okay, then we can say about that it is doing an periodic motion. There are lots of examples that we have already discussed in the previous lecture. So now we are going to not waste the time on that. Another topic after that, we have discussed that what is the distance. So it is the basically I have said you that whenever an object or a body, if it's change its place, and if we measure the actual path or actual length that covered by the object or the body, okay, then we can say that it is a distance. Okay, so also we have seen the distance SI unit regarding that what is the SI unit for distance. So we have seen that it is a meter. And after that we have discussed what is the displacement. So what is the displacement? We can say that wherever an object or body moves its place, okay, and if we measure the shortest distance between them original position, with reference to original position we can measure the shortest distance between them, this is said to be a displacement. Also the unit will be remain the same, it will be also a meter. But going on that, we have to categorize this and we have to differentiate both the quantities. And how can we differentiate both the quantities? Because its units is same. So we have to differentiate the both quantities. So for that we need to understand the 2 quantities that will be called as the scalar quantity and another is a vector quantity. The quantity which can be represented by only a magnitude is said to be the scalar quantity. So if I want to explain you the distance, I have to give you only a magnitude and you can understand the distance. Okay, suppose I will give you an example like I am traveling 50 kilometers. So you can understand the sir is talking about the distance. But if I give you a magnitude and direction both, then it is said to be I am talking about the displacement. And those types of quantity which can be categorized and which can be known by the magnitude and the direction both will be known as a vector quantity. In the vector quantity, the displacement will be its example. Going to talk about the displacement, see, if I give you the magnitude means a number of a value. So if I give you the value and also I give you the direction, if I am talking about that I am traveling 50 km in a north direction, then I came back to the 30 km in a south direction, what will be my displacement? So if you want to understand the displacement, then you can say then you need the direction and the magnitude both, otherwise you cannot understand the displacement. Okay, for distance you not need any kind of direction. Just I am saying that I have traveled 50 km, afterward I have traveled 30 km, afterward I have traveled 20 km. So you can measure the whole length that I have covered. You can say that 100 km of distance has been covered by the sir. But for the displacement I have to give you a direction. Without giving a direction you cannot understand. Now going on the next topic, that will be the speed. See, each and every quantity you can see that one from the another quantity are getting extra in the each and individual quantities. Like for distance you only need magnitude, displacement you need magnitude and direction both, while speed is consist with the distance and time both. If I want to explain you the speed, then I have to give you a distance and also I have to give you a time. That in a 30 kilometer to cover a 30 kilometer of distance in a 5 seconds, if you measure the ratios between them, 30 kilometer in a 5 seconds, then what will be my speed? Then you can say that the sir, your speed will be 6 kilometer per hour. It means it predefines us that if I travel 6 kilometer per hour, okay, so in a 5 hours I will reach the 30 kilometer of distance. Okay, so these types of quantity will be represented by the vector quantities. After that it is a velocity. In velocity will be defined by the displacement and time. So for velocity you need the displacement, okay, and displacement upon time will gives us the velocity. We have seen this in the previous lecture. Also we have seen the acceleration. Now you can see here that I want to represent the speed quantity. For speed quantity I have represented with the distance and the time. Velocity I have represented with the displacement and the time. Now in the acceleration, what should I have to do? Acceleration I can represent it with change in the velocity and by the time. Now what will be the change in the velocity? So if you know, we have seen the two kinds of velocities, that will be the initial and final velocity. Now if I differentiate or if I substitute, then I subtract both the velocity, then I will measure the change in the velocity. For that, if I want to give you an example, that suppose my initial velocity will be 30 meter per second. Now my final velocity will be 50 meter per second. Okay, so what is the change in the velocity? Okay, so you can say that easily that I have changed the 20 meter per second of velocity. But how can you measure that? Okay, so for that you have subtract the final velocity minus initial velocity. This gives us the change in the velocity. Okay, so for measuring the change in the velocity, you need to find both the velocity, final velocity and initial velocity. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss on that topic, that how can we differentiate and how can we symbolize the final velocity and the initial velocity. For that, I need to write the symbolic representation of all the quantities that we have learned so far. Okay. Going to see the symbolic representation. Okay. Now see what is the symbolic representation for first quantity that we are doing is distance. Okay. Then displacement. distance and displacement, both the quantities are defined by the symbol d, or sometime it will be defined as the s. Okay, both the terms will be defined as the d and s. Sometimes the distance will be defined as the d, sometimes the distance will be defined as the s. So whenever the d or s come, you can think about in your mind that it is for the distance or the displacement. Now if you are thinking that why both the quantities are symbolized same, because both the unit have the same unit. Okay, so for that purpose they have the same SI unit, so for that reason they are giving the symbolic representation same. Now going to see the next quantity, and that will be speed. So speed is also sometime will be symbolized by the s. Okay, sometimes speed will be symbolized as the s. Okay, now you can see that sometime it will be gets replaced the symbolic representation. Okay, but no need to get out of your zone, so don't think about that. It is complicated. Okay, whenever the question will be asked, you have get the separate quantities for that. Speed gets its own symbolic representation, and distance and displacement gets its own symbolic representation. Whenever speed will be defined as the s, then distance and displacement defined by the d. So don't worry about that. You can categorize and you can simplify that by these terms. Afterwards speed, and then you need to understand the time. So time is represented with the t. Okay, then comes the velocity. Now in the velocity, you have seen the two kinds of velocity has come. First one is the initial and another is the final velocity. Now how can we represent the initial and the final velocity? So initial velocity will be represented as u and final velocity will be represented as the v. Okay, so this is the way we can represent the initial and final velocity. Going to see the acceleration. Acceleration will be defined as the a. Okay, so these are the some of the short terms or the short symbolic representation of our quantities that we are studying in the motions chapter. You need to learn that, because we are going to see our next topic, that will be the equation related the motion. But equation related motions topic will become after we are when we are see the graphical representation of the distance or the displacement time graph or velocity time graph. In that graph we are going to put the each and individual symbol there. So you have to learn that short symbol that represent that. Okay, now I am going to give you the graphical representation of velocity time graph. Okay, now we are going to differentiate and we are going to draw that graph. Sorry. Now velocity time graph gives us the quantity. If you remember when we are talking about the acceleration, that if I want to measure the acceleration, what is the quantity that I required? I require the both quantities. I require two quantities, that will be, one is the velocity and second one is the time. Now in velocity I need the change in the velocity. Not only the velocity is quantity, but I need the change in the velocity quantity. So change in the velocity will come from this part, and also I need the time. So whenever I draw the velocity time graph, it will gives us directly the acceleration of the body. Okay, so whenever I describe the distance time graph, it gives us the speed. Whenever I draw the displacement time graph, it gives us the velocity. Whenever I draw the velocity time graph, it gives us the acceleration. Okay, so this is the way you can differentiate and you can draw the different types of graph in for representing the individual quantities regarding the motion chapter. Okay, now we are going to draw as you know, we are going to draw the two axes. The first x-axis represent the time, while y-axis represent the whatever the quantity we are taking with the time. It will be represented on a y-axis. So in a x-axis we are going to define the time, and time will be defined as the short symbol t. Now in a y-axis we are going to represent the velocity. But now we are thinking, sir, which type of velocity we are going to take on a y-axis? So for that, now we are going to start to draw our graph. Now suppose if I draw the graph from the origin point, okay, suppose if I draw the graph from the origin point, then obviously my initial velocity becomes, initial velocity means what? Whatever the speed I am going on that particular time. So if I take as the 0 meter per second, then automatically initial velocity becomes 0. Then I cannot define the initial velocity because it is already 0. So now we are going to only define the final velocity, and we can easily make the change between them. Okay, we can calculate the changes between them. So for that reason I am going to take a some amount of initial velocity. Okay, so if we are drawing suppose we are drawing a graph regarding 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30, 40. And we are going to travel 5 meter, 10 meter, 15 meter and 20 meter. I am going to put all the values here. Suppose I am traveling on a 0 second and I have my speed is a 5 meter per second. On a 0 second time my speed is a 5 meter per second. Then first point will become here, and this will be defined as the initial velocity. Now initial velocity is not a 0, so that is why we can consider it is in a 5 meter per second. Okay, we are going to start the initial velocity. So if I measure that amount, then it will be defined as the initial velocity u. Now if I reach the 40 meter per if I reach the 20 meter of distance in a 40 second, so then the point will came here. So this will be my final velocity because I have reached the 20 meter of distance, or the 20 meter of change will be happened in my speed, and I have taken time, I have taken the 40 seconds of time for that. So that will be considered as the final velocity, and final velocity will be represented by the v. Okay. Now I will join these 2 points A to B. Okay, so this is the basic graph, and whatever the time I have taken, if I represented with the t, so all the quantities I have represented on this basic graph structure. Okay, now I am going to give you some of the basic ideas regarding the graph. See, if this is the time, then what will be this value, because this is both the same line. So we can calculate that if this is the time, then this line straight is also a time. Okay, see, if the final velocity is here, okay, another line we are going to draw this. Now if this line is t, this line is t, then what is this line? It is also the same amount, then we can say that it is also a t. Now if you are look at very carefully, here is the u, it means it is the initial velocity, it comes here, so it is the u also here. And now what will be this value, because this full value is denoted as the final velocity, but what about that? Okay, how can we measure that? So this is the value that can be represented by the v minus u. If we want to calculate that, if we want to get the short line from the long line, how can we do that? We want to erase that. So if we erase that line, we can get the short line. So how can we erase that line? If we subtract that line, we can get the short line. So we want to get this line. So how can I get that v minus u? If I put the v minus u value, then I can get the v minus u also here. Okay. So, and now if you remember, what have I said you in the earlier in this lecture, that how can we measure the change in the velocity? How can I measure the change in the velocity? From the equation on this v minus u. It gives us the change in the velocity that I have done. Okay, so my velocity will be changed. So if you can see here, my velocity will be 5 from the initial stage, 5 meter per second. I reach the 20 meter per second. But what about what is the velocity that I have changed? So from 5 to 20, I have changed the 50 meter per second. Okay, and that can be calculated by this graph, that can be calculated by this equation. Now we are going to put these all the values onto our accelerations equation, and there we can get our first graphical representation, or we can get the first equation in our motions chapter. Okay, now we are going to see our first equation from this graph. Okay, what is the equation of acceleration? So first we have learned in the previous lecture that acceleration can be defined with change in the velocity upon time. Now we are going to put all the short symbolic representation. Acceleration with represented by A, change in the velocity. Change in the velocity, how can we measure the change in the velocity? From the graph you can see here, v minus u upon time t. Okay, now you can see that here the t is in the denominator state. If I want to put it into here, then if I interchange the t into this side, then what happens? This denominator becomes a numerator that can be represented at, and v minus u will remain same. Now if I take the minus u onto this LHS side, then what happened? Then we can say that v is equal to u plus at, because u is become a positive on this side and at is already positive on that side. So this gives us the first motions equation. Okay, so these types of three equations that we are going to derive in this chapter. Okay, I have just given you the basic structure and basic construction of that in the graphical representation, and we have calculated the equation regarding the motion, and we are going to now see on the slide presentation. Okay, but for that I am giving you 3 seconds of time so that you can take a screenshot if you want to take a screenshot. Okay, so that you can see that and you can write it in your rough book or in a fair book. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to erase that, and afterwards we are going to see that presentation on our slide. Okay, I am going to erase that, and afterward we will start our slide presentation. There you can see the same this phenomena, and you can represent this equation, and you can calculate this equation. Okay, as you can see here, first equation of motion will be considered as a v is equal to u plus at. It gives us the velocity acquired by the body in time t. So from this equation, if we in the example we have given the final velocity, initial velocity, and the acceleration, we can measure the time. If we have given the initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, and time, then we can measure the initial velocity. See, these are the four quantities, and if we have given the three quantities, then automatically we can find the fourth quantity from this equation. So considerably we are doing a sum or arithmetic terms, and changes will be calculation by easily by this equation we can perform. Okay, consider the body having the initial velocity u. Already we have known from this graph, you can see it here, initial velocity will be represented by the u. Okay, suppose it is subjected to uniform acceleration, so that after a time t it reaches the final velocity. What we have done here, you can see that we have drawn the initial velocity here. After a time t we have gone to the final velocity v. So what will be the change is happened, then v minus u will be the change is happened, final velocity minus initial velocity. We can put the values and we can get our equation. Now this box is represented as the what is the final equation that we have left. I am writing the final equation here. The v is equal to u plus at. This is the first equation that we have done here. Okay, so that's it for today. In today's lecture you have to do the homework regarding the first you have to do graphical representation of velocity time graph, and also you have to describe and you have to calculate you have to derive the first equation of motion. Okay, I am going to write that here so that okay. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for reading this lecture. If you had any kind of doubt, you can ask me on my personal WhatsApp number. Okay, we will meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye everyone, and take care of yourself.